Welcome everyone to Peace Within, the Journey of Forgiveness. If this is your first time tuning in, we welcome you. Now, I have a guest. Introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Errol, and I'm a native New Yorker, and I've been living here in Maryland in this nice county of Charles for about 5-6 years, and still getting a little acclimated, but I've met some great people, and I'm definitely getting used to being in a different area.
Okay.
Nice to meet everybody.
So, y'all, New York people always talk about us.
No, we don't.
You don't?
I think
Y'all don't call us, back in the day, we used to say up north, used to call us Bamas because we was down south. But we consider ourselves up north.
No, I think the only thing I remember is what's it called, DC, Chocolate City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we used to be Chocolate City. Now we never.
I was back in the DC live
That was
days,
back in the day.
Yeah.
We telling our age. We telling our age.
Nah, because they can't tell.
They can't tell.
Far,
Yeah, our mama and parents gave us some good genes. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. So we start off with a scripture, and I'm gonna come from the NIV version, okay? So it's Proverbs 10 and 12. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all wrong. And as I read this scripture and I think about it, I think about the character of the devil and God. The devil is always stirring up something, always stirring up the pot, but God is always loving us through whatever we're going through. The devil try to use our mistakes or use the hurt that we went through or our past, but God is saying, I love you regardless of your past. I love you regardless of whatever you went through. So that's why the journey of forgiveness for me is real, because the devil was using my past to overtake my mind. But God was saying, I will love you regardless. Just forgive yourself. So as I read this scripture, how does it resonate with you in your journey of forgiveness or your situations?
So I'll build off of, I'll build off of what you said a little bit.
Okay.
From as long as I can remember, my mother always said, God is love.
Amen.
And anytime she ends off a sentence or before we get off the phone, she always says, God is love.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And kind of like what you said, that relation between God and the devil. Us as humans, we're imperfect. We're not perfect. So the devil, I think, and this is just a perspective.
Yeah,
I never give. This is just a perspective. I think that the devil allows us to play with our desires, the inner desires, the things that might be good as well as not good. He allows us to play on them as much as we want. However, the ones that are not emitting that good energy or positivity is where you need to use the love of God to fight that off.
And wisdom.
In wisdom. Wisdom in that love of God to control that. Because we all have it. Yeah. We all have things we love to do. Exactly. So I mean, you can't we have to use both of those energies in order to guide us through this journey on earth.
Yeah. And we also live and learn.
Yep.
Live and learn, and that's why I say, Lord, thank you for Jesus, because that's the opportunity for us to live and learn.
Amen.
For us to repent, and God is saying, I forgive you, but move forward and don't go back to that.
Yep.
So as a man, we got a man on the panel. So as a man, how do you take the love of God into all areas, the will of life? How do you take God's love and put it in this area like career, finances, spiritual, intellectual, social, family, and physical?
Well,
just pick one. It was 7 of them, so I give you two.
So family, I think everybody can relate to family, because everybody has, whether it's blood family or relational, just family that you've grown up with, that might not be blood family. Everybody has some facet of family. And when it comes to love, family is not always people always expect that family would never do things to you or never disappoint you or never hurt your feelings, anything like that.
Speak.
But it's usually family that, because they are the ones that's closest to you, they have the ability to do these things. A stranger might not be able to hurt your feelings. A stranger may not be able to hurt your heart, right?
That's true.
A stranger may not influence you to do something that you don't want to do, but a family member can do that. So
they got a hold on you.
Right. they're in the inner circle. So that's where the love, you have to exercise love. And it's not just love in forgiving, but it's also love in forgiving yourself and forgiving your family and explaining them to why whatever it is that happened, whether it was your fault or their fault, how it affected you and how it affected them, and how to get past it in the future so that y'all can still exchange love.
That's true.
Right.
And this came in my mind. Let me ask you this question, because it seemed like men love in a different way. Like, y'all gotta fight it out, like physically fight it out, and then some guys can go back and just love each other. You ever had that experience?
Well, I can tell you this much. And I can say maybe I'm blessed, but when it comes to my male friends, from growing up to now, from a kid to now, I can't say that I've lost any friends. We might have lost some time, we might have lost some distance, maybe we haven't talked in years, but I can pull up on the block and see them, and that'll start a 2-hour, 3-hour conversation, because we about to catch up with everything that we have missed. We gonna start from the playground. We gonna start from playing handball on the wall, all the way up to now. Who's married and who's not? We gonna take it all the way up. So I can definitely say, when it comes to guys and love, we can probably be a little cliquish, because you got to prove yourself before you get into our inner circle. Once we form a bond between a couple of guys, it's not just an opening door. You kind of gotta prove your loyalty. You gotta prove who you are before you get in that circle.
Oh wow!
And but after that, it is all love. It's some of it is tough love. It can be tough love. That's what you're talking about. We gotta fight it out. But after we fight it out, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna laugh and joke about it. We're gonna say, you got that. I see you got that little snuffing before I did, but it's all good. I'll catch you next time. And we go on after that. It's about not holding a grudge.
Okay.
That's what it's about. That's where the love comes in.
Wow. Okay.
Because the love eliminates that grudge.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I'm not a guy, because she hit me, I'm gonna be mad for a minute. I'm like, I'll be like, chick, you better stay over there. I don't know what you was thinking about smacking me. I ain't gonna forgive right then and there, because I'm like, also, I wasn't raised like that too. So does that come into play too? How you raised, or is that a boy growing into a man thing when y'all start learning to play with each other on the playground?
Well, I think a lot of things come into play.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that like a rites of passage type of thing? You know how you talk about the rites of passage?
Now that part I don't know.
Okay.
I never really looked at too many things as a rites of passage. I mean,
okay.
When certain things happen, I just figured that's when it was supposed to happen.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you from the playground on up, you meet a friend, you trust that person, y'all talk, y'all have things in common, or you may not have things in common, but you appreciate the things that you don't have in common.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell when you grow up in a diverse place, that happens a lot, because you have people who come from different countries, different cultures. When you want some good Italian food, I'm going to the prosciutto's house.
Oh, okay.
If I want some, I want some good Greek food, I'm going somewhere else. I have a Greek friend, and we're gonna get some good souvlaki or something. So,
hey.
I mean, you tend to appreciate people's differences, all the things you have in common. But once you form that bond, as a young man, it becomes a protective bond as well. Men, we are protective of our surroundings. Okay. So if it was a park we played in, yeah, you couldn't come in that park unless you talk to us, right?
What?
The folks that's there. But that's the bond. That is forming a bond. We played on a team. We formed, and that's another bond that you form with somebody. So all of these things that's happening allows that bond to get strong enough that when you do run into conflict, 9 out of 10 times y'all gonna struggle through that conflict together, which strengthens the bond together.
Okay.
Right? You see kind of where I'm going?
Yeah.
So that's why when you say, yeah, we like to fight it out, we can fight it out. And then afterwards say, let's go to the drugstore and go get some alcohol and some bandages, man, because tomorrow we got to work on the car.
Yeah,
we can't be looking crazy like that.
Wow. And that comes with love and wisdom in y'all circle. And like you said, culture and knowing each other. So what about, how some men allow women to bring conflict in their... Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean,
these are facts. So why, it might not happen to you, but looking on the outside and observe other guys, why and how to give wisdom and God's love in that situational scenario.
Okay, so let me see. Let me make sure I'm getting this right.
Okay, have you experienced that before?
Of course.
Okay, well, speak on your experience. Can you speak on your experience?
Well, first I'll address the first part. So the difference, right? Because we went through the bond and how guys, through my perspective, of course, how guys kind of evolve through young and through that bond to adult. Right, but when it comes to a female, you said, why do guys allow females to bring some conflict? And I mean, let's be practical, right? We took a rib and gave it to y'all, so there's no, who else is gonna bring us conflict?
No.
No, but on a serious note.
I like how you try to know, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Nah, just kidding. You gotta have some humor.
Right. I like that humor.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, when as far as a guy allowing, quote unquote, allowing a woman to bring conflict into his life, it's because the love that he shares for a woman is not the same love that he shares for his boys.
Okay, break that down. That was good.
Because I mean, that's like two different houses right there. Those are two different houses.
One can't do what the other can do.
Well, it's like, I don't even think it's one can't do what the other can do.
Okay.
I think that, the things that I expect out of my boys or my boys expect out of me is not the same that, my woman is going to expect out of me or I'm going to expect out of her.
Why is that? I'm curious. Because now that's personally me. I look at it like being sexist. No. But I do just want to get a clear understanding because I'm thinking of if I ever get married or be in a relationship, I would want to have the same bond as my husband has with his friends, because if I feel like if you're a good man of character, you will not do anything that you would not do when you was with me. So that means we should be, whatever you're doing with them, you can do with me. That's why I'm looking at it like that. Okay.
But now with that part, yeah, absolutely right.
Okay, that's how I was looking at it. Okay, cool.
So let me build on that. Okay. So the bond, right? When I say that the same relationship a man has with his boys is not the same, or the same expectations that his boys has for him or he has for his boys is not the same as your household, right? I don't expect my boys don't expect me to pay their bills for them or take care of them unless something happens to them, and they need help or something like that. They know that they got somebody that they can depend on, right? That's true. But as part of being my friend, he's not going to expect me
a monthly
allowance. Right. He's going to be like, hey, I need some kicks, man. Like, go to the mall.
You be like, what?
I'm like, I mean, leave me alone, you some bread. I got
Is
you.
today your birthday?
Yeah.
Did I miss your birthday?
Right. But,
Okay.
but no, getting back to what you were saying though, the companionship, that level of companionship that a man has with his boys, he should definitely be able to have that same level of companionship with his woman.
Okay.
Right? That's definitely my that's something that I actually value.
Okay.
Or I look for. I would look for if I was out there looking for, for a mate. It has to be somebody that I don't want to have to live a separate life from my mate.
I've seen it a lot too. I'd be like, wow, okay.
I like, and it's happened. I like to bowl. I'm a bowler, so I would love my mate to want to come out to the bowling alley with me, whether I'm competing or whether we just, hanging out. But unfortunately, and this goes both ways, you do have people who, if it's not really their interest, they don't want to be bothered, right? So this takes me back to my boys now.
Okay, because I was about to say, hold up, because is that a conflict?
Right, so see, this is the conflict. You see, we're going to get back to the conflict when you say women, right? Because when it comes to the dynamics with men and women, and I'm not saying all, you do have the different dynamic who will take interest or appreciate the interest of the other. Okay. However, you'll find where in that dynamic you don't find it as much as you would find it using the example of a guy with his boys. Okay. I like to bowl. My other boys they like basketball or football. But you know what? If two of us are having a tournament, we all going out and we're gonna have a good time. Okay. If the other one wants to go to a football game, I watch football. I'm not into football like that. But you know what? I'll still spend the money and go hang out with my boys at a football game. Okay. That's the difference in the dynamic, right? And as far as somewhere a part of conflict, that can create a conflict.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
That conflict don't exist with your boys.
No, but I see the dynamic. Yeah. Right. And how do you give her like love and grace?
Communication.
Because some women, you can love this woman, but she could just be so headstrong. Like, that's your thing, you can do, go, be, because I know, because like I don't like football, and I used to be in a relationship, and it was conflict because I felt that because I don't like football, I just get you tickets. That was my thing. Like, hey, I got some good tickets. I know somebody who has good tickets, but they selling them. Let me get the tickets for you, or you go with your homeboy. But it was conflict because they wanted me to go, but I'm like, and first of all, I don't like crowds too. So I'm like, let me get you tickets. You go. So my thing was I was trading it off. I'm doing a trade off, but showing that I'm supporting you, but I'm not supporting you how you want me to support you. Right. So it was conflict, but they didn't see the way I was looking at it, and I was giving love because I'm like, okay, I could have been like, that's your thing, I ain't wasting my money, but I'm like, okay, you want me to go, I don't want to go. That environment is not good for me because all the yelling, that's too much for me, So I'm like, well, let me give you tickets. Attitude just... I just I'm so glad I'm not in that relationship, but it just was like they don't see the trade-off.
So, so I'm about to throw a little bit of salt in the water. Just for a second, right? That's what I'm saying. So using the different relationships as an example, that conflict would not exist with with my boys, right?
So if I had like homegirls who was like that, it would have been fine.
Now, if your I really don't know because here's the thing. See, but here's the thing about it though. It depends on here's where the love part comes. Okay. It depends on how important it is to you or that other person that you are there with them. And I can attest to that because I play baseball. Okay. Most people think that baseball is one of the most boring sports out there because it's a long 9-inning game, right? So imagine, when I was out there dating, getting a young lady to come to a baseball game with me, right?
Nice.
Now, just like you said, I've gotten that offer before. Look, I'll get you some Yankees ticket, or when the Mets come to town, I'll get you them tickets. You can go with some. That's cool, but you know what? When that dude, you got me those. So let's use that as an example, right? I got those tickets. I'm out there with my boys, and my boys is with their wives. I got those tickets.
How many tickets did she get?
She got me a ticket to go with my boys.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But,
I'm thinking she got you a ticket and
for
two
me to go
tickets.
with my boys.
Oh, I'm thinking she got 2 tickets for like you go and you have a guest to go with you.
Well,
like your boy.
So
your boys was already going.
I'm kind of using like your example, but if my boys, if let's say we was going to a baseball game, right? And I said, hey, come to a baseball game with me. Okay. Right? Some of the guys are probably going to be meeting me down there. See, guys, we don't always plan like we're having a couples night.
Okay, because I'm about to say that was game, okay. Because I was like, huh? Okay.
This is a live example. We going to a baseball game. All right, cool. Thursday night. Ask, you want to go to a baseball game? I ain't going to sit in nobody's stadium for 2 hours watching 9 innings of them hitting a ball with a stick out. That's all they doing. They hit the ball with a wooden stick out to the outfield. And people, I can't do it. I will fall asleep. I said, yeah, but we got food. I mean, they got beer, drinks. It's it's really not my thing. Matter of fact, since it's around your birthday time, I'll get you a ticket. All right, cool. So I got the ticket. Okay. I went to the game. When I got there, one of my other friends, two of my friends actually came. One of my other friends came. He came right after work. Mm-hmm. My other boy came, and he had his girl with him. Right? So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't a third wheel. Okay, because I was about to say, how was you feeling? I had a friend there, but at the same time, just like any other human being would do.
Because you like, she came,
it's more like, wow, man, my man is over there having a real good time with his lady, And I mean, I'm having a good time. You can go get some more beer. Yo,
it's your mind now, your mind.
But my mind is thinking more like, it's not so much of, oh, he lucky him. It's more like, I wonder what that feels like.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I wonder what that feels like to, have somebody to, hey, even though she don't like it, but she gonna come here and laugh and joke. Yeah. She might not even pay attention to the game.
Wow.
Right? But we're here and having a good vibe at the end of the day. Right?
So, okay, let's skip. So how did you, when you went home to your girl or you called her, how did you respond to her? Because I'm now in my mind, I'm thinking you was like, yeah, I went to the game and so-and-so bro, so-and-so. If you would have went, you would have been sitting with her. You would have been okay if you can, because that's what's going on in my head. I'm like, okay, I know it's some conflict. I know.
So I'm going to let you take a wild guess as to what the subject matter of the conversation was.
From who? You or her?
Well,
how was the game?
When she asked me how was the game.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, me such and such and this girl, yeah, we had a good time and blah 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 blah. After I said that, the Mets won. After I said all of that, what do you think the response was?
Oh, you didn't tell me no girl was gonna be there?
Bingo.
Yeah. I know I'm working on my female confidence because I would have been like, so why you didn't tell me it was gonna be that type of group? I probably would have went. I'm thinking I'm going to just be with you and your homeboys.
See, and the thing about
am I giving you flashes?
No, look, I'm laughing because it's like forget about who won the game or how much I drank or what I ate or anything like that. It was more of, you did not give me the logistics of this outing. And you know what? I mean, I had to be honest. I didn't know.
Okay. Did you express that to me?
I said, yeah. I was like, I didn't know.
And I'd have been like, what you mean?
I was like, such and such we didn't talk about who we were bringing. I honestly just asked you to come with me. And I didn't know such and such was bringing a +1. I mean, he had a +1. What do you want me to do?
So how did y'all cover that with some love?
It
took a while.
it took a little while because it still stayed on. I'm sure somewhere in the text messages on the on my ways or what time I'm gonna get there and blase.
But it was too late for her to get a ticket.
And that's the same thing that I said. I said by that time it was too. I couldn't go back home and come get you and say, hey, look, such and such is bringing somebody. You sure you still don't want to come? You know, it took a little while, and then afterwards, what I did was, I just told her, I said, look, I understand you might not feel comfortable in arenas like that. I said, but to be honest with you, in the future, there's going to be situations where either one of us is going to be in an uncomfortable situation, right? You might have to do something with your job where I don't know anybody there. You know, I don't know anybody there. They might want to go somewhere where I don't really fancy too well. But you know what? If I have to go there and represent you, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get fresh, and I'm gonna go out there and represent.
Love is about being supportive.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
So you know, got over that.
I was about to say, did that work its way to different levels in our relationship where it got better?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep,
okay.
It did because she came to a baseball game with me.
I know. She just was making.
You missed no more baseball games after that.
I'm about to joke. Because in the back of her mind, she was like, oh, she could have bought a friend whole time. Let me see.
Hey, you missed no more baseball games after that.
She probably was there with a little outfit on. You bought her out. Because I'm thinking how my mind would be going. Like, oh, okay. Because homegirl could have bought a girl. And hold up. Hey,
so you know what? I think the biggest lesson to take out of this example, you know, and it's funny, but it's true. It's practical, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway is intent, right? And you have to have love in your intent. You have to have love, and you gotta have forgiveness in your intent. Because I could have took it a certain way, like just like how you said, oh, his girl came with him. She ain't come with me, and I could have went home and could have been mad. It could have been
you gave her grace and mercy,
right?
Because you already there. Because you was already there. It was placating on your mind,
right?
And that's good.
It could have been festering all the way home, you know.
Wow.
But you know, again, it's about you have to have love in that intent on both ends. Yeah. On her end, her intent, it wasn't about going to chill with my boy. So what? You chilling with me and my boys. So what?
So that's how we supposed to look at it?
You know? Yeah. See, the thing about it is, I'm going to tell you like this. Okay. So if you was going to chill with your girls, right? You was going out somewhere with your girls and you asked your dude to come. And he was like, nah, I'm messing with y'all, man. Y'all going to be talking all that girly stuff.
That's how they sound.
I'll tell you like this. Here you go. Take this. Look, y'all...
And I probably would have been satisfied. I'd have been like, okay, cool, how much you gave me?
Y'all going out to drink? Yo, look, hit this spot up. I know the bartender over there. I told him to hook y'all up. I'll be right here when you get back. Nah,
you know, as a woman, we'd have been taking pictures. You'd have been like, Or if your man don't go, you change your clothes and put some extra sexy on it.
That's where the intent. What's the intent? See, what's the intent?
We know how to get y'all to like change your mind and say, you know what, I think I might have to need to go with you to this little bar y'all going
to. So I guess what I should have did was just say, hey, you know what, I think such and such is bringing his girl and she might be bringing some friends. So do you want to come, babe? That's what I should have said.
Hey, you gotta think like a female.
Look, I can't. That's too.
I know.
That's too much to just.
Because you didn't even tell her that, you know, there's more people coming. Y'all just so, y'all man.
We too simple. Sometimes
y'all
too simple.
Yeah, too simple. Us, we be like, oh, he said no. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Let me go. Let me push up the brassieres a little bit. You know, I ain't out. Matter of fact, this shirt. Say if I was just wearing this. You going out with your girl. Oh, he don't want to come to ask. Okay, let me go show more cleavage.
See,
he gonna be like.
Luckily for me, I grew up with a whole bunch of females in the house.
What? Yep. How did that look like? I know that taught you a lot.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it.
How many sisters you have?
I have 3 sisters. Okay. 2 that I grew up with.
Okay.
My mom and my dad. But at the end of the day, the kitchen and the bathroom really didn't belong to us. we would just.
Was that a conflict?
No, that's how I learned to deal with conflict, right? That's how I learned to see things that I probably didn't want to see.
Okay.
The blinders are on. Yeah. It's all good.
But that taught you to grow up as a man to deal with women in a relationship way too. Because our upbringing teaches conflict and love, especially if we see it from our guardians, parents, or whoever's raising us.
It's there's a pro and con to everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that what that did was it kind of set a certain standard, and because of what I'm accustomed to seeing, what I'm accustomed to doing. My sisters, my mom, they some warriors, and I didn't grow up in a traditional house where.
But tell me your background, because you're not, you're mixed, right? Or you're.
Well, I don't like to use the word mixed, because at the end of the day, we all kind of mixed up in some form or fashion,
That's
right?
True.
But so a little bit about my background. My parents were born in Panama, and my mother's lineage is goes back to Barbados and Jamaica. My dad's lineage is more so towards Martinique and Grenada. My generation was the first generation born here in the United States.
Oh wow, congrats.
My parents came over. My parents came to the States and pretty much made a life. I can't say that I've seen struggle.
Okay, and I was about to ask you that, because it's a difference coming from, coming to an unknown territory.
Absolutely.
And you're going to come up against some conflict, and for you to have a good, loving foundation,
mm-hmm.
you will have to not allow that conflict to change your heart.
Well, I can say that I was definitely blessed to have, that family dynamic. My grandparents, a lot of family, within a close proximity. Growing in New York, there's a lot of people, but there's not. It's in a very condensed area. So, you could have a whole slew of family living in the Bronx. You could have a whole slew of family living in Brooklyn. You're out in Long Island, but everybody's within 100 miles of everybody. So when something goes down, somebody's having something, it's always a big gathering,
Wow.
So
and some good food on site.
Absolutely, always. But I was definitely blessed to be able to have a lot of family and friends of all walks of life, and that helped me get an understanding of, I can see somebody standing in front of the store who may not have eaten in a couple of days, and I don't have to look at them differently than somebody that I'm meeting at an executive conference, right? I don't have to feel differently about approaching them or talking to them.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that is in the Bible. Basically, it's basically somehow it talks about, be careful, like say a homeless man come to the church, you'll put him in the back, but this prestige man, you'll put him up front. So it talks about that in the Bible.
I mean, I can tell you there's been times where, waiting for a train, I've had a long conversation with I'll say a quote unquote homeless person, because they have a lot of information to share. They have a lot of stories. They have a lot of things that they might just want to get off their chest. Some don't talk at all, but I mean, the ones that do, you get a lot. I really love, right? We're talking about love and forgiveness. You never know what somebody's past or what walk of life they've had to walk before the day you met them, right?
True.
You never know that. So you can't judge. You should never judge somebody just off of what you get presented with, even though it's a natural thing to do. it's natural for you to perceive what your eyes are giving you and what your ears are hearing, but you can get a whole different story once you get the background of anyone, and like when it comes to folks who may not be as fortunate as others, it's like, I'll give you a good example. It just happened to me today. When I was on my way to the gym, and I stopped at the dash-in,